I'm a Brooklyn nigga anyhow.
I'm your boy, Best
I'm a Brooklyn nigga
To my
anyhow.
right, Rachel. To my left, Jackhead. And welcome to episode 33 of the 2 to 1 show. If you don't give me my goddamn claps. Nah, Jackhead, we've been episode 33. Clap should be on point already. We gotta go back to manually clapping ourselves.
Listen, man, leave me alone, bro. Okay, you starting your shit already? We just started. We just started, bro.
I don't even know what to say, bro.
This is a special show.
Yeah, this is definitely a special show.
This shit's special when Jack N is here.
I think you have a special announcement to make about a special someone.
I want Risky back.
You rate your Risky.
I love when Risky was here. We couldn't hear Jack N.
Fuck you, Dash.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 33 of the 2 to 1 show. Last time we explained to y'all that we are gonna do certain things a little different. So this episode 33 is gonna be based on blended families, step parenting and co-parenting and everything that comes with that. So make sure y'all stay tuned for that. But before we do that,
Do you want to tell our people why we picked that topic?
Why don't you elaborate, Rachel?
I think that might look a little kind of...
Go ahead.
go for it, Rach. You're the one with the most experience.
No. There's a reason you wanted to do that. So I have to give myself
Yes. We'll
give
give it a
myself
round. Well, we'll give a round of applause for the newest member of the 2 to 1 show, which is Rachel. Officially. So this logo right here should go away right now.
I'm not happy about
Rachel
it.
has agreed that she is going to be a permanent member with us, and we love it.
Yeah, you guys gave me such a nice romantic proposal. I couldn't turn it down.
As you guys know, we did. I announced it a little ahead of time. I apologize. I did it. I put it Friday, right? Friday was on Insta, which is our main promotion, I guess.
Yeah, and
I haven't done this in a while. So I just want to say, next time I do something good, you better say you're proud of me or there ain't going to be a second year. And for those of y'all who thought we wasn't going to have 33 episodes, well, here we go. And I wouldn't say what, but somebody's checking our time now.
What?
So 33 watts would be a lot. So this is for all the naysayers. Welcome to episode 33. Stay tuned for 333 and 3033 because it's coming. And that's the end of Best I Said So. Because he's going to retire because YouTube be fucking with us. So yeah, y'all. For those of y'all who thought we wasn't going to get here, we here. Hello. Toodles. So that was that. That's all I wanted to say because you know we got a lot of naysayers.
yeah, all right, 1 year. That was our way of saying 1 year. One of our first shows, we introduced Best Style Lucenzo, so we're retiring it on our first show of the second
Do you know where
year.
Best Style Lucenzo came from though?
No, I don't. You never told me.
So we have like this like ill rivalry, man. Like everything.
I do the macho, dig it.
That's like not it. But that's his attempt at macho.
Snap it to a Slim Jim.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
This snapped it to a Jack N. That shit. What was it? The fantasy? We had a fantasy league going on.
I don't want to talk about
And,
it. Why you gotta bring shit back, man? Get the fuck
No,
out
I'm from
of
the
here.
style. I'm from the style. I destroyed all the Bushwick in that league. And then I tried to get them to play for money in the next league, and they didn't want to do it because, you know, I'm great.
So
The
full of
best
shit.
guy is great.
I just thought it had to
won.
do with you doing better impressions.
No, what happened was
That too, Rach. But don't put him on the spot. Edit number 2!
shut up, man. Ain't no edit number 2. Ain't no edit number 1, all right? Yeah, edit probably number 1 is probably gonna.
Yeah, you want to save things.
Yeah, I don't want to get my ass beat by Zoe.
Before we do start, Rachel, I do want to say thank you
You're welcome.
for bringing what you bring to the show.
Which is what?
Which is shutting Jack N the fuck up every time. Shots fired! Pow pow! He's off today, bro.
Ain't no shots fired. What does that mean, man? Leave that alone.
Thank you for everything you bring. We're really glad to have you. And I look forward to the future with you
Thank you. That's
on the
really-
show.
Well, thank you for thinking of me that you may be part of the show and thinking that I add something that's relevant and good to the show.
You definitely do.
How was Have you enjoyed your last a couple episodes with
Oh
us.
yeah, you guys are quite entertaining.
So normally we just break down what's going on and shit like that. So we have this segment that we want to call Ears to the Street. So in Ears to the Street, we're gonna just discuss pretty much what the fuck is going on. Just the BS stuff that's going on around social media and in general in the world. So first and foremost, Jay-Z has officially become a billionaire.
My guy.
Officially become a billionaire. So
Of course, some shit go down when there's $1 billion in the elevator. Oh! Now there's like $1.5 billion.
So yeah,
Yeah.
so
Taking it.
So first hip hop artist to be rapper, first rapper, because I think Dre was $1 billion. I don't know, close to $1 billion.
No, he said first
Drake?
rapper. That's
First rapper. No, Dre, Dr. Dre.
Dr.
Oh,
Dre.
I was about
So
to say.
he was close to it. So
He's more producer.
yeah, and Diddy's been up there, but I don't know if he's a rapper either. So congratulations to Jay-Z on that.
But he did. But to elaborate that real quick, and we're gonna get off of it. He didn't really get it off of rap though. He's got it on all the investments that he got
Yeah,
from
but
the
he's
money
the
of
first
rap.
rapper. It doesn't matter what he did, you know.
Nah,
50 got all his money
No,
from
they, still
Vitamin
haven't,
Water.
they still haven't reached that level, financially. So
Yeah,
he's the
straight.
first one to do it.
Correct.
So yeah, and it's a big accomplishment. Like, look where where he's come from, and
He's come from where we're from.
yeah.
And the second thing I want to talk about from Ears to the Street is you guys are here right now. Tracy Morgan crashed his $2 million Bugatti 15 minutes after purchasing it. A Honda CRV hit it. I think it was my mom's car that hit it. So what do you guys think about that?
I
Was he
think
badly hurt?
He wasn't hurt at all. It
Just
wasn't.
chilling.
Yeah, it wasn't like.
Okay.
it wasn't like the first crash.
But it's an expensive car to crash.
Yeah, it was an expensive car to crash, but it wasn't like the first.
Did he even have insurance in it? 15 minutes after buying
Well,
it?
50 had posted something. 50 said that it's going to cost him at least $100,000 to fix it. Plus the fact that now that's going to go on the Carfax. So his car value is going to go down $200,000 15 minutes after he bought it.
Would you check a Carfax on a Bugatti though?
I know. I'm telling you. 50's making a joke about it. So it is what it is. So, yeah, he didn't get hurt. So I'm not going to say, best of luck to you. Just fix your car, bro. You'll be all right. It's
And
not
that's not a sign from God that the man should stop driving though. You got money, bro. Let somebody chaperone your ass, bro.
bro, the first time he wasn't driving, he was in a limo.
Nigga,
He
stay the
almost
fuck out of a
died.
car.
He almost died,
Yeah.
and it was Walmart's fault.
Yeah, but and he became, it probably doubled his net worth just from the fucking settlement
of
alone.
course. Yeah. I saw him on driving in cars with comedians.
Did you see it? What he said? He said in his stand up, he said he's lucky he didn't get hit by a fucking Snapple truck. Because he had got shit.
Oh shit. Tropical fantasy truck. You
Yeah,
really
he
be
got-
fucked,
but
bro.
he got hit by the right fucking company.
Alright,
But
a
in all
year soda, that
seriousness,
should be
he's lucky
$20.
He has his life. He's lucky. He's alive, and I really love Tracy Morgan. Like, he's one of my favorite.
This
SNL
is why we have
characters.
Rachel on the show, ladies and gentlemen, to be the mature
Keep you in
person.
check.
Yes, oh my God, to keep me in check.
All right, now let me start calling you Rachie B now.
Rachel,
He's just
Rachel B. Well, speaking about
Checkin'.
checking, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. And talking about Rachel B, Cardi B dropped a new single called "Press." Let's give it a little play in the background while we talk
Taste
about
for
it.
everybody.
By the way, I'm 4 for 5. I'm calling number ones. This is a number one. So I'm gonna be 5 for 6.
What you mean? This is
Sixth place already? Since
We
it's
already established that Cardi B, like everything.
Yeah,
she
just
touches
Cardi B.
goes
She touches
number
gonna be
one, so.
first. It's not like it's a dope song, bro.
It's like
Oh,
saying
shit.
Drake's song's gonna.
Fortunately, we cannot sit here and enjoy the song because we will get
Well,
copyrighted.
we could. It's got to be low. I'm trying to put it as low as possible. We could kind of enjoy it. But what do you guys think about this song?
I love it. That shit had me lit when it first came out.
You especially like the promo pic that she
I like
put
the
up
promo
for
pic
it.
and sure. Of course, guys, it'll already be here. I don't know. I don't like it.
1 to 10.
I gotta still. I'm 6.
I like everything Cardi does.
Me too.
I like Cardi too.
She's fun.
Me
She's
too.
fun.
I'll give it a 9.
She's fun. She makes music that,
I'll give her a 7.5 because of the picture. But I don't find Cardi attractive.
I'm
not trying to shit on her, I just don't find it
I mean, it's the song. I mean, everything's.
It's not your cup of tea. I get it. But I think the song is very
That's
good.
a statement. She's making a statement.
Well, check it out. It's on iTunes. Catch it on all streaming platforms. It's called Press by Cardi B. You can hear we're hearing a little snippet of it now. But before YouTube
Available on all
fucking us
platforms.
over, we're gonna turn it down, take it off, and then get into the next segment. And then the next segment being For the Culture. For the Culture,
This is a.
this is we're gonna talk about a topic that we think is
Deep.
deep
Definitely
for social media, and everybody's talking about it, and it's a popular topic. So
And it's relevant to, like, your culture.
yes,
or
our culture. Yeah, it's relevant to us in general. And speaking about this, like Rachel was, she was saying off camera that this is a good segue to check out episode 31 where we talked about policing, and we had actually Officer Danny call, and you guys should check it out. Check 31 where we were talking about different cases of police brutality, and he gave his take on it. But for the culture, Best Style, you the one that brought it up, the docuseries?
The Netflix docuseries, if
Actually,
you guys
I
have not
did
seen it. Jackan did see the documentary before. For those of you who didn't see it, I guess this was put on a bigger stage because Netflix
What's the name of
Well, no,
it? What's
this
the name
is,
of
I
the
think there was
docuseries?
documentary before. I think there's been a documentary before, but this is the docuseries
Yeah.
that Ava DuVernay directed.
Correct. Now the Netflix special is called When They See Us. First thoughts?
Shit, I got a lot to say about this. First of all, I knew about this from the get. The only thing I did not know was the young man, Mr. Wise's story,
Corey Wise.
which was
Episode
Corey
4.
Wise, which was, I think we could all say that it was the hardest
I
one
mean,
to
there's
watch.
been a lot of talk about it in regard to Donald Trump, like, becoming, like,
Well, why don't
more
you
and more of a political...
Before you guys get into it, just give the backstory of it. Like, what is it? What exactly
So
happened?
it's
This is
the
about the
story
Central
of
Park
the
5,
Central
right?
Park Five, who were the 5 young black men, Hispanic man, who were wrongfully accused of raping and attacking a woman who was jogging.
Caucasian
in Central
woman,
Park.
right?
Yeah, Caucasian woman who was jogging in Central Park, and this docuseries really takes a closer look, like a deeper look into that, and really like sees how they were so affected by it, and how really just how messed up it was, that, you know, in the way that they conducted the investigation, how they really coerced them into their statements, and really did things that they shouldn't have. And it's really emotional. It's an emotional docuseries in 4 parts, and I think it takes you on a range of emotions. And
Not to spoil the docuseries, but 2 things stood out to me. The first is the obvious, where the head prosecutor, Miss Fairstein,
Linda Fairstein.
or Unfairstein, whatever the fuck you want to call her, the fact that she made it her business, if what we watch is completely accurate, she made it her business to tie in these teenage kids to a murder that they had nothing to do with because they happened to be in the
It
park
wasn't a
together.
murder. It was
I mean, I'm sorry,
Oh,
murder.
one
I'm
that
sorry.
she
close. It was close to murder.
An attempt murder,
Mm-hmm.
a raping of this young lady.
and really beaten.
So she's getting her backlash, and she's well deserved. Now, to piggyback on that, the fact that the guy who actually was the serial rapist, who was caught, I believe, 6 months later after that, or a couple months later after that, he confessed to 4 other brutal rapings that he committed, and I think he killed one lady.
Ruben Mateus, I think.
Yeah,
his
Ruben
name is,
Mateus.
something.
So I didn't want to say his name. I didn't want to make him famous. Fuck him. Watch the Netflix thing if you can. The MO was the same. So these people to save face, they allowed these kids to be in jail years later when they could have saved, just to save face. So the MO came out. The murder is the exact same thing. The semen did not match any of the kids. They didn't even think twice about.
Well, because reinvestigating would make him, make them
Look
have
bad.
To,
That's what I'm saying about save face.
We
The judge had to
messed up.
save face. The prosecutor had to save face. The
Detective,
DA had to save face. The
yeah.
detectives. So they didn't even think twice about. All right, you know what? Let's say what, because they had said that this is the theory they're sticking on. That these kids may have not penetrated her, but they were there. They were
Yeah.
part of it, right? So if that's the case, and you believe there was another person that committed the rape, you could have still went after him and charged him as the 6th person. They didn't even do that, which shows they saved face, which is it leaves a bad taste in my mouth when I watch the docuseries.
I mean, the whole thing leaves a bad taste in your mouth because there's just so many things like that were captured in it that really are just like so wrong. Like being that these kids were so young, 14 years old, like held in in a police station, without their parents, without legal representation, without food for hours, scared like beyond belief, like not having any kind of understanding. Like that's just so wrong and illegal, and
not to downplay what they all went through, but the one who had none to do with nothing. I believe
Corey Wise, the one that
Corey
just
Wise went through the most
yes,
shit.
yes.
I mean, clearly,
They came up with a story in their head about what they thought that happened, and they just kind of convinced all of those kids to say that. So in some way, thinking that if they said it, that they would get out. They would get off on what they were doing. And
I just think I think if you want to believe, I'm playing devil's advocate. I agree with pretty much what everyone else is saying, that they coerced the kids and everything else. But if you want to believe that they didn't coerce these kids, let's say you want to say, I'm going to be on the detectives and on this prosecutor's side, and they didn't coerce them.
They would just kind of say
and they said the story, they stick to their guns. The guy that was a serial rapist who raped 4 other women the exact same way.
Left his semen in a fucking sock
I'm
right
saying,
next to the goddamn scene.
No, forget all that. He raped 4 other women the exact same way, and he admitted to it. You don't think for 1 second it's your duty to say, hold on, we have a fucking sock that has semen. Let's see if it matches him.
Well, they did, but they just didn't talk about it.
But I'm just saying that is the most egregious thing that they did to me. Because even if you believe that they didn't coerce those kids into telling the story, which I believe they did, but even if, let's say, you don't believe that, let's say you believe the detectives that they did their job correctly, let's say you believe everything they say, the fact that someone commits a couple months later, confesses to 4 fucking rapes, and I don't know if there was a murder or not, I don't remember. You don't say, oh shit. Because that case was super popular, so everybody knows about it. And they know they didn't find the person with the semen in the sock. You don't say, let's check his semen for the sock. So no matter what the argument was about the coercement, if that's a word, no matter what that argument was, it was still your duty to check that guy and his semen once you found out that he was a serial rapist. And I'll leave the topic on that.
But that's how you see it. You know what I mean?
But that's policing 101. I wish I could call police Danny, tell him to call him again. I didn't even think about it. But that's like policing 101. You see something, because I guess the case wasn't solved. If the DNA was not matched to someone, then the case wasn't really solved. What happened was they saved face. They didn't want to have to come back. They all had political aspirations.
They wanted to leave a case closed. They did their job. They felt like they did what they needed to do, and they got justice. So case is closed.
It's horrible.
That's what I'm saying it from their perspective.
I should do a Voga J on this fucking horrible person.
I know. I'm really feeling him trying to sneak out here.
Go.
But I mean, it is important. I think it is a good docuseries to watch.
Guys definitely should watch.
It definitely is.
But I would also say but it is like prepping you to prepare you. Like it is emotionally.
Yeah, if you're gonna watch it, just
really an emotionally.
It's like watching
tough.
What's that? This Is Us. That show.
No.
I'm not saying just
not even.
Just get ready to have it's a tearjerker.
It's maddening. It's maddening, and it's really emotionally. It's sad. It's really
this is for the culture, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is the segment. This segment is for the culture, and to be honest, I am happy that a lot of people have been put on to the injustice. But if you from the culture, bro, this shit happens every day. Stories get coerced. I know 2 people that I could say right now did not do a crime, that are paying for that crime right now. That unfortunately, similar situation.
Listen, we could talk about we have to move on because we got to get to our main
We
topic.
did a whole episode.
But we could talk about this. Like I said, we could talk about policing. Episode 31 is about policing, and we had Officer Danny. Please check that out. We could talk about this all day long, but we have our main topic that we want to get into. But please, it's called When They See Us. It's on Netflix. It's a 4-part docuseries, meaning 4 episodes. In total, it's about 5 hours long. Mm-hmm. Trust me, after the first episode, you're probably going to want to binge it. It's just a terrible story.
Yeah, and one thing that some of my friends and I that were talking about it discussed was whether or not kids should watch it.
I don't think so.
I think they should.
What age do you think is appropriate?
I don't know. I guess 15, 14.
Well, the youngest kid was 14.
Yeah, I guess 14,
I said,
15.
that was the question. We were talking about it in a group chat, and my best friend was like, "Do you think
I think the
it?"
earliest is the best. Unfortunately,
part 4 is really violent.
Yeah, bro, you got
really violent.
Kids.
Well, that's what's gonna happen to my kid if a cop coerces them to fucking say lies or something that didn't happen.
I think this is. I mean,
okay.
taking from put my therapist hat on, I will say, like, you know, I think it's something that, you know, absolutely, like, parents should watch it first and kind of determine what they feel comfortable allowing their children to watch.
I don't think a kid should watch something they can't understand.
Well, that's why you have a conversation about it. That's why it's not just watching it, it's also talking about it. And like, having a conversation about this kind of issue and you know, keeping young people safe in the street, you know.
But
so that's kind of where I said it, you know.
I could talk about this forever because even when the father, you know, it's really well written.
And
it was acted very well too. The one who played Corey Wise played Corey Wise
really,
OD.
If you don't know about the Central Park 5 gentlemen, you could Google it and actually read about this story. But the visualization they put to go with the actual story was fantastic. It was well done by, what was her name again?
Ava DuVernay.
Ava DuVernay, good job. Moving on. The next segment we're going to is we did it last week for the first time. It's Talk to Us IG. So this week one of our 2-to-1ers, Drewski. What is his name? Let me look for.
I'm actually very hype about this.
Yeah. Drewski 540, he said, you know, last week we talked about the Meek Mill versus the Cosmopolitan. He said, being that he's from Brooklyn, actually from Bushwick, guy I know pretty much my whole life, and I'm being a Bushwick person, Bushwick native, we want to talk about the Puerto Rican Day Parade actually being a part, Bushwick being a part of the Puerto Rican Day Parade. So, Rachel, you're not from Bushwick or Brooklyn, and you're not Puerto Rican, but we are both proud Puerto Ricans. I consider myself more of a New Rican.
You're going to be Puerto Rican on Sunday.
Yeah, you're going to rock out with us.
Listen, they're still part of the United States.
Hey,
okay, I get that. What do you think about it? Then we're coming back to Brooklyn, bro.
I love it, but I hope we don't fuck it up. That's what I'm saying. But you brought up a very great point. Me and you was discussing this. I think these kids are a lot smarter than we was when we was kids. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean,
do you think they're gonna fuck it up?
That's what I'm saying. I just hope they don't fuck it up, bro. I just hope they don't fuck it up.
Sorry.
Yeah, I gotta put that. I gotta have that touch. Man, rest in peace to Big Pun. I have to add that touch. Ultimately, it's.
You said to think about it. The parade was always in Bushwick. We did our own parade.
I
we
mean,
did the parandas.
Can have a bad rap.
What happened was, all right, Richard. So let me give you some backstory towards it. Bushwick is predominantly Puerto Rican.
Yes.
Okay, Brooklyn. The area we're from in Brooklyn is predominantly Puerto Rican. But Bushwick specifically. So we, you know, back when I was younger, Puerto Rican Day Parade, people didn't even go to the parade because we knew we wouldn't have a parade in Bushwick, right?
Yeah.
And you got these guys that took it upon themselves to.
Was it an official parade though?
It wasn't.
It was a paranda.
It was kind of like your.
Well,
what they would do is.
So there wasn't a float. It wasn't an actual float.
Okay.
Because I was there a year. I mean, I don't know what a paranda is. I don't know what
Paranda is all right. It was Saturday in Graham. Saturday night. Yes. It would go from Saturday night in Graham Avenue. From Graham, it would move over to Knickerbocker after the parade. It would be a Saturday.
Saturday so pretty much Sunday. They let cars come in one way, and it was only one way. And people would be playing their Puerto Rican music, and they would be insanity. Like people would be in the streets going crazy. Where they go? You would be on the corner of your block. It was insane. But it was. And what happened was you had a couple of rotten apples that would come and start inflicting trouble. So I believe there's one guy from my neighborhood, from what I remember, he actually threw a brick and it hit a cop in the fucking head off a roof. And then that insinuated, like that started like a little riot and stuff like that, and it was insane.
And from that day on,
they shut it down. And even to this day, I don't know how they're gonna do it this year. If I had a guess, I would say the same thing. Knickerbocker Avenue is like it's like the most busiest block in Bushwick.
Yeah.
Because there's stores are there. So Knickerbocker and Myrtle starts, and then it ends at Knickerbocker and Flushing.
Yep.
So that whole ave is insanity when it comes down to Puerto Rican Day Parade. So there's a school there that's called Philip Escala, a.k.a. PS 383. The cops, the 83rd Precinct, which is responsible for Bushwick, they get situated in there, and there's like 50 to 100 cops just getting ready for this. So even though I hope it's a success, I'm afraid that, you know, like Lou was trying to say, hopefully these kids aren't as bad as the people from when I was growing up. Like from my point of view, we would run around and just act crazy. Puerto Rico. Those people that weren't even Puerto Rican. Like if you were from my neighborhood, you would be Puerto Rican that day. Everybody's Puerto Rican that day. Everybody's loved.
Because it's not even just about whether you are.
It's
not
just our heritage.
Celebrating it, loving it.
So and it's good that it's coming back. But hopefully those bad apples don't come back.
I got faith in this generation. I always big out, bro. I think we're gonna keep it going. I hope we keep it going.
Be like really, I mean, this would be my first experience. So you tell me, like, do you think it's gonna be?
Well, it's gonna be pandemonium.
I was gonna say,
No, it's an actual parade. We didn't have a parade.
No, now we have
we
it
made
float.
our own
Now they
parade.
have it
I
like
think
floats
it's
and all
gonna be
that.
heavily
No, I was
guarded
now,
and
because
policed.
the city
Okay.
councilwoman, I forgot her name, the Puerto Rico city councilwoman, she approved it.
Okay.
So it's gonna definitely. Let me see if I get her name when we talk. So it's gonna it's gonna be floats. It's gonna be like a legitimate
Oh, no,
parade.
I assumed that, you know,
So,
but I look forward to experiencing this.
It's gonna be fun.
yeah. So
Don't worry, you would Pablo Capscabar over there. By the
sorry.
way, everybody who
Hold on.
purchased the 2-to-1 Puerto Rican hats, we want to
Appreciate it,
thank y'all so much for supporting that, man.
Assembly member Maritza Davila, she's the one that's gonna be actually
Responsible for it.
responsible for it. So
Oh.
she's the one. She's a Puerto Rican person from Bushwick.
Oh,
So yeah, so it's
My aunt.
So yeah, we'll look. Hopefully, everything works out, and we have a great event. We're gonna be there. 2-to-1 show will definitely be in the building. Well, not in the building, outside, but we'll be there for sure. And hopefully everything
We're
works
probably gonna
out.
end up in the building though.
No, you're gonna end up in the building. I'm not. Hey, man, I'm not playing like that. And on that note,
You're not
let's.
gonna mess it up, everybody.
Yeah, please don't.
You
And
never-
on
Yeah,
that-
You're gonna be
right.
on
The
good
one.
behavior.
He's not from our generation. He's old.
He lives in Harlem now.
So yeah, so that's that, man.
And on that note, let's get into our topic. Rachel, you wanna?
Start us off.
So
Rach.
slightly joking was the idea that, I'm the new member of the family.
Yes. Well, Rachel's my stepmom. If you don't get, or my stepsister or something. She regulates me.
Just in us talking, we actually got into the the conversation that like all of us actually have experienced in some way, being part of a blended family, having, either dated somebody with children or having children of your own and getting to a new relationship, or even in your own family, growing up and having a step parent or step siblings, and just kind of that, what does that entail? Like, what are the goods and what's the pros, the cons? Is there a right way to do it? Is there a wrong way to do it? Because some of us had that similar life experience, but we also had some maybe not so great experiences and some great experiences. Correct? No?
Statistically talking, and this is not a new fact, this is a Google fact. Somebody on this table has some kind of step siblings or something, because 50% of the population goes through a divorce. So,
Well, I don't have. I have like half siblings.
Yeah, I have a half sibling.
So
and
I have
sister.
two half.
Half sisters.
I have two half sisters, and one half brother. But in a Puerto Rican family, there's no really half.
Yeah.
She's my sister.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know how it is.
That's how it is for me,
Italian
too.
heritage, and we're talking about. We want to talk. I don't know. What do you want to? You want to talk about step parenting, or you want to talk about?
Well, I guess
it's all entangled, bro.
it wasn't really so much what I wanted to talk about. I think we were talking about we had been brainstorming this idea as a topic to present for the 2-to-1 show as,
Well, I mean, in general, right?
Could we be a step parent?
You want.
That sparked something, I felt.
You want.
I'll elaborate.
Okay. Can you? I don't know if.
Yeah, you could be. I don't look at it as step parenting. I think if once you take on with a woman with a child, that's your child. If you love that woman, you need to love that child too, because it's not gonna work out if she's a good parent and she don't like me personally. If you with me, you need to love my kids like they're yours.
Yeah.
If not, then. So I think the term step parent is
It's still parenting.
Well, I think the step parent is
it's just
the respect to the real parent, I guess, right? Because if the real parent wasn't around, right, then it's not step parenting. Then you're the parent. You become the parent. Now, when the parent is around, right, which I could probably elaborate on my situation. Somebody pointed it out to me, but I won't get into it. But when you look at the co-parenting, I just spit all over the mic. Come on, excuse me. When you get into the co-parenting thing, right? I think I have experience with the co-parenting thing and the step-parenting thing. I'll get into the co-parenting thing first. So, as a man, who's very macho. My kids.
You love your kids.
I
You're
love
very
my.
passionate about being
I'm
a
very
dad.
passionate about my 4 babies. My oldest, her mom lives in Pennsylvania, and I was out. I'm not gonna lie. In the beginning, I was uncomfortable with her having guys around. My daughter or whatever. And from a man's point of view, and Lou, you probably could piggyback on this. We don't want no other man around our daughters,
None.
at least. Another woman around your daughter, all right, you probably could deal with it. I don't want a man around my daughter because you hear all these stories about rape and stuff like that.
I was about
and
to
all
go
this other
there.
stuff, and that's your biggest fear. And the thing is that
Like
I think
molesting.
me and Lou had this conversation a long time ago that if our daughters were to say somebody touched them and they lied, we'd rather go crazy and then figure out it's a lie later on than not go crazy.
Sure.
And then-
I understand that.
Have to deal with it.
But-
So my daughter's mom, Michelle, shout out to her. She does a good job with my baby. She recently got involved with somebody. Not recently. I guess they've been together like 5-6 years.
So you eventually start, like, if you're not going to be together in a relationship and raise the child together, and, it's only assumed that you're going to have your own lives.
Yeah, I mean, it must have been tough for her because immediately after we broke up or whatever, we decided we weren't going to be together. I immediately moved on. I got into a relationship immediately, and even though my daughter's only seen probably a couple women I've been with, but both of them I was in a relationship with, so it wasn't like I was sleeping around and introduced them.
You're careful and,
Yeah, of course.
about who you.
And actually, the 2 women that she met are my two other baby mothers. So it's not like these are women that were important in my life too. So, but like I was saying, as a man, to have her around another man, it was a little, and I didn't even want to meet him because I was pretty much like, I don't want to be his friend. I don't want to know him. He just better know that if he fucks with my daughter, then I'm willing to take it to as far as I have to. And to be honest with you, they've been together 6 years, and this happened, I think, like last summer, maybe the summer before. He actually came up to me, shook my hand. He said, "Listen, your daughter's wonderful, and I would never hurt her." I didn't even have to tell him. And I thought that was amazing, and I think that's the only conversation him and I ever had.
Did you feel, just to kind of piggyback off that idea, but did you have the same kind of experience or feeling like when it came to like that protectiveness when it came to your mom dating somebody?
Well, my mom is too much of a. My mom is I think our moms, they're too very overbearing. So it's like, even though I want to protect my mom is like, mind your fucking business. Or I got it. I got this.
But you don't feel like some type of way, like with a new guy.
Nah, I don't.
Like,
Not
you
with
never
my
felt
mom.
never felt
Nah,
some
no.
type of way about
My mom
another
is
guy
too.
coming.
My mom is too. She's too
She's-
proud. She's
she's
too
a
proud
strong
of a
woman.
woman,
She's
and
a
she's
strong
not gonna allow a man to interrupt or to do something that she feels is disrespectful. My mom wouldn't allow that.
Well, not even just to say that, just to say like, just being like, just your openness to somebody there.
But that's.
You know what? Hold on. Let me chime in real quick.
My mom is a different breed. My mom didn't have boyfriends. My mom got married.
That's what I was about to say.
So when my mom moved on, she moved on with a husband.
yeah.
So when you have a
So
husband,
there was no period of like getting to know them and dating them.
they were. I mean, my mom didn't say, "Hey, Tony, look, I married this guy." Yeah, but it was not when it was time for that man to be prevalent in my life. Mom was married.
Well, and
Before
that's
that,
fine,
mom
but
may
my
date, and
question
I
was for
wouldn't-
you and how that affected you, or how do you?
But
feel
this is what I'm saying. This is what I was trying to explain before that. My mom is a strong person. So as you can tell me if I'm wrong. As sons, we just want no one to hurt our mother or disrespect our mother. So when we say hurt physically,
Well, I think that goes for any child.
yeah.
whether
So
it's a boy or
physically,
a girl.
but especially as a man, you're very protective of your mom. So physically, you better not touch.
Only man.
You better not touch my mother physically. If they hurt her, like emotionally, it still takes a toll on you, and you may want to, but you can't.
And then the man side hits you. And
Yeah, but he's like, I'm not involved with that.
yeah,
So physically, don't touch my mom, right?
yeah.
And don't disrespect my mother in front of me. So don't be like, you fucking, say something. Then that. So what I was saying is, my mom is such a proud woman. She's not gonna allow that. So she never put me in a place where I would have to react to that or say, "Yo, you crazy? That's my mother," and then have to go insane.
In my 31, damn, I don't even know how old I am. In my 31 years alive, my mom's favorite line. My mom, by the way, damn, I happen to talk a lot about her now. I see. From after my father died to like 19, she didn't have a man just for us.
And your father died when you were how old?
I was 12.
Okay, so
So she didn't have a man.
next to you.
Not that she didn't, and not no bullshit.
just went
She
to
left my
wait
father at
for-
3 years old. So when I was 3, so from 3 to like she got with her man. Now, 21, 22. I was already out the house.
So she didn't bring no
So
man
she
around
was-
you.
And still to this day, her line to him was, before I'm your wife, I'm a mother.
That's dope. Not,
Like-
a lot of people see it that way, but that's dope.
So I'm the baby though. So, I mean,
I'm the only son. I'm the only son.
I
too. We the only son.
I mean, is he do something wrong? I mean, no. But back.
I don't
So,
know that I was
so
so,
that's the piggyback off of you. That could be like where my head is at,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm like, and it's selfish, I guess, in a way, because I'm the same way. Like my mom could do
But
it.
did you
You
feel
can't
like
be,
you needed to have
can't
a
get,
little-
you can't stay without no dick for 18 years. Like, you know what I mean? Not a lot of people could do that. That's hard for a lot of people to do.
well,
Well, it's not necessarily they say without dick. They just
Oh,
don't
man.
bring the dick around their children.
Yeah.
You
Uh,
had a step parent too, right?
yeah.
All right. So how
Mhm.
did
Yeah,
that? How
my-
did,
well, I mean, they're not like my mom and my stepdad are not like quote unquote they're not officially married, but they've been together for almost 20 years.
that's married in Puerto Rican culture.
That's married for most
Yeah,
married.
they get married, then he gonna have to go to the lease. The rent gonna go up. I know about all that. Don't worry about it.
No. They've been together for a long time, and you know, I mean, I think for me, I was not necessarily so like open. I was like a little bit like, okay, what do you know, what's your purpose here? You know, like, you
What,
know,
like
I was just
apprehensive?
very, I was apprehensive, and I was like a little like, all right, you got to pass the test for me to kind of be okay with you, like, you know, I was gonna like, you know, really gonna.
How old were you though?
I was 19.
Yeah, but all right. So all right, but
I was in
maybe I said it.
college.
Maybe I said it wrong. So my mom and my dad broke up at a really young age, like kind of like what Lou does. And then my mom married the man who, up until, let's not even say up until now, he was my father.
Yeah.
I mean, my dad was around. He made me, but he didn't make me. If you understand that, he made me.
Made you, but,
But
he
he
didn't
didn't-
make you.
There you go.
Got you,
That's-
blood.
so-
Got you, blood.
So after Nick passed away, and my son bears Nicholas's name, after he passed away, I was like 17, 18. I began my first real relationship with my daughter's mom.
Yeah.
So, well, my mom, I see what you're saying. I didn't really,
You didn't have that experience.
I didn't give a fuck about none of the men after that. So when she got married, it was like, yeah, hey, how you doing? I didn't have to have a relationship with you. You just were my mother. So, like, similar to what you're saying, it wasn't about I'm gonna respect you, respect me. But since my mom has gotten married a couple times after that, well, hopefully that doesn't sound bad. The men that she's been with respect to her husband now, I didn't really have a relationship with them. So it's like, hi, bye, what's up? I'm living I didn't give a fuck about them. So I wouldn't disrespect them. They didn't have to pass the test to me. Just don't, like I told you, don't disrespect my mom. Don't put your hands on my mother. I don't give a to talk to
I
you.
guess maybe because for my own experience, it was like I watched my mom in 2 not so good relationships.
Okay.
And then for that reason, when you know my stepdad
I
now
probably
came
would
into the
not been
picture.
able to handle some shit.
Yeah, it was definitely a little
My
bit
mother-
more like I'm definitely like all right.
So you were on edge because
yeah,
mom
I was
already
like the
had.
bouncer.
No,
Like,
I would say
And
I
you're the
was,
oldest, right? If you
Yeah,
don't mind
and
me
I'm the-
asking.
and I'm the oldest, yeah, no.
I would
that's
say you were like
that's-
my sister
there's a lot of
Michelle.
Yeah,
responsibility.
Because my sister Michelle, my mom had my sister Michelle at a very young age.
yeah.
So my sister Michelle went through her father's marriage, my father's marriage with my mom, which wasn't that great. I don't know enough because I was really young. And then she went through whatever mom was. So Michelle was always the warden.
Yeah.
So when the man came around, Michelle didn't like no one off the bat. And now in hindsight, you look at it, Michelle was probably like you.
Yeah.
I was one of the younger.
Yeah.
So when Nicholas came into my life, I was not even a teenager yet.
Yeah,
So he got me young, and then so it was like, and then my dad wasn't around.
So I guess then my next question is, what do you think made you like bond with him?
In the beginning, it was tough. From my memory,
How old were you?
in the beginning, it was tough. I would say, wow, I don't. My mom, I think, was together 10 years. He died at when I was like 19, so I guess 9, 10, something like that. I don't know. I don't know the next
wow.
age, but I was very young. I was young, and wow, I don't want to get emotional, man. I love Nick, man. Nick is martyred to me in my life. Like this, I don't, when I really try to think about the things he's done, I come across the things. Oh shit! I remember he did this. That was fucked up. But I don't see him that way. So Nick went out his way to show me that he wasn't my father,
But he still loved you?
but he was my love me. So he was like, "You have a father,
Yeah.
So you got to respect him. He's your father. He may not be around, but he loves you and he's dealing whatever he's dealing with. You have a father. I'm not your father, but I'll be whatever you want me to be. Just I'm not your friend either.
That's deep.
So like I'm not your father, but I'm not your friend.
Yeah.
So it's like, one time I said, "What's up, dog?" He said, "Dog, who are you talking to?" Like, he didn't curse that much. Who you talking to? Do I look like a dog? Do I look like I bark? Don't talk to me like that. You call me Nicholas or you call me nothing. Or you call me Nick. Don't call me that. And when he didn't want to be. He said, you can call me dad if you want, but I'm not your dad. But if you're my son though.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like and Nicholas was he was in the military, so he was very like straight stoic. Crazy, good personality, but straight stoic. And
So that's why you notice when my hat's always crooked.
I mean, Nicholas used to write his initials on his socks, like that type of shit.
Oh wow.
So whatever. So yeah, I mean, with the step parenting thing, and it's funny because I was talking to guys earlier. A lot of us are raised by step parents. We didn't have it good like you, where and not that it was bad, because obviously it seems your stepdad it turned out to be okay. Right?
Oh yeah, no, he's fantastic.
Yes.
I mean, that's the kind of thing that that was that was the question that was kind of like in my mind, like what helps people who are in that situation, whether you are the step parent, in that role, or you're the kid, how do you work that? And I think like you said it perfectly. It really is about.
But I was
gotta have a rapport.
And I was really young, like, and it goes both ways too, because my father couldn't take that Nicholas was around, and I think that would go back to what you were saying, and that would go back to what I was saying, like. It's
difficult. It's not easy. It's no way around it. I don't think that it's just like this easy thing that you can do.
I mean, even now, like all right. So I gave you this great, wonderful story about Eliza, my oldest daughter, and her mother, and that guy. I don't know. I remember his name. I don't mean to call him like that. He seems to be okay, and that's okay, that situation. But I don't know what's going to happen with the other kids. If I was to break up with my woman now, I don't know if I want another man around. So one situation is okay. I don't know if the next one will be okay.
Yeah.
Like what you're saying. Be single forever. Sleep with whoever you want. Don't bring another man around.
I got my reasons to say that though.
So say, go ahead. I mean, elaborate.
One of the reasons is I have a girl, obviously.
Yeah.
2 is my son is autistic. Okay. There's a lot of annoying shit that goes on with my son, and
so you say you have to love him to kind of.
You have to, and unfortunately nowadays, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but people ain't, they ain't built like us. They ain't, what that mentality is. And
another thing
you
is,
do hear a lot of like stories like in the media, and you hear like these things about like stepdads, hurting the children, and like that's not.
I'm gonna say this only because my baby gave me permission to say this. Y'all know Ariana's my daughter, but she's my stepdaughter by law. I don't see her. I've raised her. So like the stepdaughter thing, I forget sometimes that that's my stepdaughter. If that makes any fucking sense. No. Like I forget, like literally forget.
But that's like that's
because
what I tell you.
That's like where that's what I think when you do it right. Like that's what I was
that's
like,
my
what's
daughter.
the right way? That you do it the right way. When you do it the right way and you really go about it in that way, like your experience, my experience, and the way Lou's handling it, it's about like, creating a good relationship with the child, with everybody else around. Like it's all about like, kind of putting some of your own stuff aside and kind of being able to kind of say like, what's the most important thing in this situation? The children.
Yeah, of course, but what that's what makes. That's what That's why I praise you, Lou. It's what Nick did. I was not his child. And he it wasn't that he was being a dick saying I'm not your father. What he was saying is, you have a father, and I'm not trying to replace him, but I'll be whatever you want me to be. And that, as a child, puts you at such a fucking ease where you're like, wow. Like,
yeah, because you're always kind of in this place of thinking that you have to like choose a side. It's and I think that's like something that I think is really important that I think people recognize and remember is that in these situations it's really about the children and how they're feeling and what their perspective is about like, their family first being split up and, new people coming in and what that might feel like for them and am I allowed to like this person, because you feel like you have to have some kind of loyalty to the
and then the parent, some parents can be dicks too. They say, mommy's boyfriend is a fucking dick, or daddy's girlfriend is a fucking bitch. Like it wasn't easy. My daughter's mom, she made it hard for me, and I made it hard for her too. I'm not saying that it was, she was rough. It took years and years of just dealing with it, and it's probably because she was in pain. And I had a little bit of pain as well, so we were like, fuck it. I don't want you to be with no one else. You don't want to be with me. Fuck you, suffer forever, and that becomes a case too, and it affects the kids. And like Lou, I could ask you when you with your daughter, you introduce her as, you don't say this is my stepdaughter. You say what?
It's my daughter.
That's how Nicholas introduced me.
Yeah.
He says, "My son is my boy." You know, whatever conversation he had with me behind closed doors,
Yeah.
when he introduced it to somebody, this is my boy, it's my son, and that shit gave me a sense of pride. Like, you know, like this man, who, you know, I'm around him. You know, whether you want to admit it, we're role models, right?
Of course. And you know, it's like that's like, you know, when we were talking about this topic, you know, I wanted to like kind of get like a little bit more like research about it, like, you know, what's the effect on kids and like
What did you find?
that's, you know, like one of the benefits of this is that your child is getting more love, right? Like there's more positive role models, there's more love, you know, they're better at adjusting, you know.
I think it's fear. I think it's two. I think it's a bit of selfishness and a bit of fear.
But where does fear come from? Not knowing.
Of course, but
Fear comes from knowing too much too.
Oh yeah, you know,
But
you
not
have.
knowing enough about that
experiences.
person. Not
Yeah.
knowing enough about that person.
Okay, there you go.
But and not wanting to know. That's another thing people fail to realize.
Sure.
People fail to
You
accept
shut
that.
down.
Yeah, you accept that. People don't accept that. All right, they moved on. My old partner moved on, and she's moved on with this guy or this girl. So either I'm gonna accept it
can't-
or I'm gonna make it work.
Yeah, but
I
the
just don't
reason-
feel nobody's gonna love my kids the way I love my kids, and that's the problem that I will have with that
But
situation.
then at the same time, you have
And
to
coming
know-
from where you were brought up, I'm sorry. Coming from where you were brought up, I'm sorry, Richard.
That's okay.
Your mother didn't show you another man, so that makes perfect sense to me the way you feel. I was raised
No,
by.
bro, there's professionals that don't know about autism neither.
No,
It's a plethora of things.
I don't think anybody would love my kids more than me either. I don't. To be honest with you, I don't.
No,
know.
nobody.
I don't. You know.
I was gonna say,
I don't know if
nobody's gonna
my.
love their kids
I
like
don't know
their
if
father
my. I don't know if Nicholas loved me as much as my dad did. Just because my dad wasn't around, I'm not gonna say he didn't love me. I don't know that.
He may love you in a different way.
That's what I'm saying. Oh, he didn't know how to show it.
Or even still, like he probably, you know, I'm sure he loved you. Just
Yeah. It wasn't a love thing. It was more of a attention. Like he wasn't there. He wasn't prevalent in my life. He wasn't present. But I don't think he said, I hate this fucking kid. I believe he loved me too. I don't think anybody loves you more than your parents, unless you get these people that really don't want their kids. So
You don't think there's anyone else that loves you more than your parents?
I think
I don't think anybody loves me as much as my mom.
I don't think I don't
swear to God.
I don't think anybody loves me as much. I mean, maybe my kids now, but I'm saying, let's say you don't have no kids and it's just your parents. I don't know if the way I was raised, the love I was given, I don't know if anybody loves me more than my mom.
I don't know. Maybe because I'm in the field and the work that I do, I work with so many kids, and I see so many like children that are like great and amazing, and that I'm always thinking to myself like, I genuinely love. I mean, I genuinely love kids. I genuinely really do, and I'm like great with kids. That's why I work a lot with young people, and I always think like, could I? And you know, I have thought that like, could I? You know, be with somebody who has children already? And I always think that because I think the thing that I always kind of keep central is the children are just like innocent, and I just want them to be happy and feel loved, and I don't want them to feel anything else, and I know that I'm able to do that. So I know I can love a child that doesn't necessarily have to be my own.
Yeah, I know. Well, so I said fear and then I said selfishness. When I said selfishness, it's because the adults forget about the child.
Yeah, they're too consumed.
And I'm not saying that I wouldn't be guilty of the same thing. Like I said, I'm in a
time,
relationship now, and what happened with my oldest and her mom, that took years for us to do, and it was probably a little harder on her than it was on me, and that's why, you know, shout out to her. She was strong, and I showed her that. It's funny because I'm gonna digress a little bit. I was there last weekend for my daughter's middle school graduation. Congratulations, my babe.
Hey.
And her mom was nice to me. Her mom has never been nice to me. I've known that woman 20-something, not 20. We met in, 98, 99? I've known her 20 years. And she's never been nice. She's always been. That even I was prepping my fiance, I was prepping her like saying, her mom is not the nicest person, so expect her to be kind of mean. And I went there, she hugged me, she kissed me. She even gave Zoe a gift. Like, here's some earrings. That's not her. And
This is Eliza's mom.
Yeah, Eliza's grandmother.
Oh, Eliza's grandmother. Okay.
Eliza's mom, we're really good.
Oh.
And I told Michelle, I said, Michelle's my daughter's mother's name. And I said, you know, your mom is like cool. Like, what happened? She was like, she realized that you're a good father. That no matter what happened to you and I, you've always been there.
Yeah.
You've always showed that you're gonna do your thing. So the selfishness, I digress, but the selfishness. What happens is, like what Lou says, right? Nobody's gonna love my kids the way I love my kids. So therefore, I'm not gonna let you bring nobody else into my kids' lives because I don't want that to affect them. So it makes us selfish in a way. I'm not saying Lou is selfish, but I think I may be a little selfish, and that takes time for you to realize.
It also takes time to trust.
I'm gonna tell you what scares me.
Don't trust nobody.
For instance, the other day.
No, you have to trust the person that you had that baby with.
Yeah.
That
This
they're
one-
gonna have good.
One thing,
Lou, I keep
no, you
interrupting
good. No, you good. You good. One thing that I want to bring up. My daughter the other day had a incident in school where a young man touched her butt, and I didn't know about it till after everything was over.
Okay.
Why I didn't know about it? Because she was afraid of what I was gonna do to the kid. So then that makes me think, God forbid, a man comes into her life, and this dude does something. She's really gonna be afraid of what, because the first thing we say, son, don't do something to my kids, blah 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 blah.
So that means you got. I'm not trying to tell you, but that means
What
you
would
may.
be your strategy for that?
Yeah, that means you got to talk to her. You gotta be more.
Yeah,
I-
I would absolutely. 100%
I'm not gonna lie to her.
say-
If somebody does something to her, I'm.
Yeah, but you don't have to tell her.
But you do.
could
It's
just
not about
react,
you.
you know?
You know.
So I gotta
you
lie
are-
to her.
No.
I'll just be like, you should tell me. Because
So you know, it's not for you to worry about what we're gonna do with it. You just have to. You just have to know to say something.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing.
And you-
It's not to hold that in.
and the
'Cause
thing-
you know.
Well, Rich, as a matter of fact, yeah, Rich, this is more up your expertise. I would just say, just let them know. Listen,
Yeah, I didn't ask you because we'd have jumped the kid.
Yeah,
That's why I asked Rachel.
Where's your father? Where's your
Exactly.
mother? I gotta hit somebody. Wow, that sounded terrible.
Listen,
No,
baby.
exactly.
I gotta hit somebody.
Eliza's not gonna take that.
I gotta hit somebody. What the fuck? What's going on? Why-
Hey,
Go ahead,
you feel. Listen, okay, maybe you don't feel comfortable talking to me, but there's still other adults that you do feel comfortable talking to. So I want you to tell somebody, anybody. Don't hold that in.
Or maybe again, like I said, this is your field. I know
Yeah.
my field. I would say, listen, I may overreact that because I always want to make sure you're safe. So my reaction may be a certain way, but I have to make sure you're safe, and whatever I have to do to ensure that you're safe is what I'm going to do. I'm sorry if I'm sorry, baby, if I make you feel like daddy's crazy, but I want to make sure you're safe, and somebody touching you is not right.
Yeah,
so I
and
need you
parents
to talk to me.
will go crazy to
And,
protect their kids.
and even if you don't hit the kid, I'm going to school and raising fucking hell. Where's the
Yeah,
principal? Where's the guidance counselor? Where's the
definitely.
teachers?
I'll give it.
I'm
I'll
gonna
give it to
fucking
my
raise hell.
mom. Went in and they get 15 days superintendent suspension. He got a sting. So
Of course, we're gonna go nuts.
Maida got a 15-day hospital bill for me.
I mean, I'm not. Your daughter's how old?
12, going on 13.
That's a tough
Exactly.
age. My daughter's 11. She's 12 this year, and she already got a. Oh, I don't want to get into it. My baby
she's changing.
my baby menstruated this.
And then I
last
have a
week for the
nonverbal
first time.
son who, God forbid, something happens to.
Yeah, my baby. So what? That's my baby. She's not a baby anymore. She went through her cycle for the first time. That shit fucked me up. Because after they go through the cycle, they can get pregnant, right? Am I stupid? Is that not true? Once they start getting menstruating, that means they can have, theoretically, they can get pregnant.
I mean, yeah.
Fuck. You know what I'm saying? So that, when her mother tells me, and I'm like, I don't want to hear it, but it's like, I have to hear
We have
it.
to realize, like.
I don't want them to grow up. You know what I tell her?
Looks like you never went to
No,
Dwayne Reed to
God,
get the
no.
orange pads,
No,
hey?
no, I don't. I didn't think my she's my baby. You know what I tell her?
She's always gonna be your baby.
I
but
tell her
she
you don't
is
pray.
gonna
I tell her you
change
don't
into a
pray. I
woman.
tell her you don't pray. You get me mad. You don't pray. And she's like, Daddy, why? Because you know what I tell you to pray for. I'm sorry that I forgot. Pray that you don't grow up. You gotta pray. You're gonna stay my baby forever. You can't grow up. And then we laugh about it, but it's she's gonna be
Get
a woman
lost,
one day.
Dad.
So she's like,
She put that shit on her status.
my
My dad still thinks I'm a baby.
Dad is an asshole. That's an asshole. Forget him. But just to wrap up this segment real quick, step parents and co-parenting. Lou brought up that stat in the beginning. 50% of people get divorced. But even if you don't even look at people that get married, just a lot of people break up after years.
Or a lot of people, like my also thought was like, how many people are staying in bad relationships because
For the kids.
and really not thinking about
They're hating each other every day.
Yeah, and how that's the effect of the children there.
That could be another whole nother topic that we could get into.
I mean, it's just about like I think whatever you do, you always have to keep in mind how your relationship, whether you're together or apart, affects.
At the end of the day, when you give birth to a child, it's no longer about you. That's how I look at it. It's about the kids. And
But like, you're right. But this is what I'm saying.
it's hard to do that. It's
gonna be
easier
tough.
said than
like
of
I said.
course.
Like I said,
of
I made it
course.
seem like wow, I couldn't believe I'm actually co-parenting with Michelle, and but I don't know if I can do that with the other ones.
And
I'll
co-parent-
be very honest. I don't know. I tried it with Kaylee and her mom, and that didn't work out for whatever reason. And I wanted to go over there and rip his fucking head off. And it wasn't necessarily something he did to Kaylee, which is I didn't like. What happened was the guy was trying to alienate me, and saying he's not doing this, he's not doing that, which he didn't. It was first, it was none of his business, and and that wasn't true. It was false. But because he wanted to impose himself so much, he felt that way. And there was a time where I didn't speak to Katie for a couple of months because of that shit. So you get stuff in situations like that,
Well,
and then that's what I mean when it comes to selfishness. So at that point, her mother and that man decided that I wasn't important enough to be in her life, and I'm stuck.
Yeah.
Now that was one. I don't know what happened with my boys now. So if you don't know, Jekin has a montaña of kids. I have 2 girls and 2 boys, 3 different women. I judge me later. I love all my kids.
The Puerto Rican Day's coming up.
Oh my God. Vasectomy coming up real fucking soon. I'll be afraid. I don't know if I can do it again.
What, have any more kids? I
No.
hope you're afraid to have any more kids.
Now, if I hit the mega millions, I'll probably have about 5 more kids. I love kids like Rachel, but financially, I just can't. I'm barely getting by now. But I don't know if I could be a step parent again. I don't know. I really don't know.
Well, I mean, it's just knowing the boundaries, and what those boundaries are, and having, you like I said, you have to have that communication with the person.
And another thing you have to have, you have to know it's over.
Yeah.
If you're still sleeping around, if you're still talking to each other, it has to be definitively it's over. Because the feelings amongst the adults is going to linger on to the children. So you have to say, all right, somebody has to say it. Sometimes one person doesn't want it to be over.
Yeah.
Like you can be broken up, but the guy wants to still do this, or the girl wants to still do
So
that.
there's still
So
maybe
somebody
some
has
kind
to
of
take a
feelings,
stand and say, listen,
harboring
it's
feelings,
fucking
yeah.
over, and then no matter what, keep it that way.
Baby, it's a shame we gotta go through this.
We don't even talk, girl. We don't even kiss.
We're gonna get signed, and then Rachel's gonna be on the show by herself.
All right, so Rachel, why don't you finish off the topic?
Okay, so that made me think about like what people who are struggling trying to get the co-parenting right. What could be out there? What's something helpful? That was something that I was thinking about, and one of the things that I thought was really interesting that I found was that they actually have apps for co-parenting, which I thought was kind of I was like, what? People need an app to help them communicate?
Do you know what they are?
Well, yeah. There's if you look in the iTunes store or the Google Play store, you can just look in co-parenting apps, and they have a whole list of them.
Nice.
And one that actually stood out to me, the idea of them basically was that it was a platform for you to kind of just like a way to talk about
Like vent?
No, it's like
Advice?
nope. It's actually like
Forum?
like an email kind of system that kind of gives you what it could be about, and it actually gives you almost things to talk about and what to say and how to send it to the person. So
Like a coaching?
coaching, yes,
Gotcha.
Exactly. So helping you find the words to say and how to say things correctly. So I was like, people need that help, and I was like, but you know what? There probably are a lot of situations.
There
like
is.
that. So then, what it actually got me thinking about was my own family and the difficulty that when my parents split up, and how they would have definitely benefited from that, and also people who are in situations that are not safe when you're splitting from the partner. So there's any kind of domestic violence or abuse or anything like that. One app that I thought was really good that I really wanted to highlight was called Talking Parents, and that was
Gonna be right here.
that was actually something that I thought was a really helpful app, because that one actually it actually allows you. They said that sometimes courts will actually order you to communicate through that app, and that you can the information that you're communicating in that app can actually be uploaded as a PDF and actually used to present to court and say
Gotcha. So if you're texting each other, instead of me giving you my phone number, you get this app and then we'll text.
So that there's no one can say
bitch.
no one can say, hey, we told you about this situation, you never showed up. So it's there's also things it'll actually link calendars, so you can share hey, graduation's coming up or concerts coming up.
So if you don't show up, it's
yeah, but not even just that, but I mean just a way to kind of include the person in those things. So it's hey, we're gonna go to shared events, and there's things kids can even edit.
It sounds like a snitching app.
No. No, but I mean the situation where you have to protect yourself, like this is a situation we have to protect yourself.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
I mean,
I'm
it also gave you
just
links
fooling
to.
around.
It also gave you links to like legal advice, like how to reach out to a lawyer and find a lawyer. And I liked that there was a feature that some of them had. I can't remember offhand if this particular app had that feature, but there was one in particular that you can the child could actually edit things and say, this is important, I want both my parents here. So it's kind of like everybody has like a shared access to the calendar, to things. And I was like, you know what, maybe that is actually like technology is maybe helping people's lives, because there are people that just struggle, and sometimes there's just too much animosity, or like I said, like if you're in a situation with like any kind of DV or any other kind of abuse, there might be other reasons that you don't feel comfortable outright communicating, but like, hey, they still need to see their children.
Dope. Before we go, this is Throwback Thursday. This is for Bushy Parade, Too Deep, my guys, Eggy Eddie, and then we got our hats. We will definitely be in the building for Bushy Parade. Too Deep, I always show love. See you guys there. And on that note,
Take it away.
Anything to say, best I lose?
I'm about to make check-in's job a little harder. Señores y señores, gracias por ver el episodio 23. Yo soy Bestailu. Este es Raqueli. Chequen el bicho. Make sure you catch us at 221_show. Like, subscribe, comment, say we suck, say you like us, say Chequen is horrible at the claps, say you've been watching us for a year. It don't matter.
It look like Vinny Styles. Mama told me how to treat ladies. I can make Penny proud. I'm a Brooklyn nigga anyhow. I'm a Brooklyn nigga anyhow. Closet look like Vinny Styles. Mama told me how to treat ladies. I can make Penny proud. I done seen it all with my dogs. I done went to war with my